So let's decide. Are you a Kindle person or are you a book person? By the way, as long as you're this book person, I kind of love you. However, if you're one of these, you're just wrong. Stick around to find out which one you are. Hey, welcome to Need Loud. My name is Richard Mulholland. I'm the founder and chief evangelist of Presentation Powerhouse Missing Link. Now, as a presentation guy, a public speaker, I understand that nothing smart can come out of my mouth that I didn't first put into my head. Therefore, I read stuff. However, this brings up a bit of a religious debate. Like, what do you want to do? Are you a Kindle person or are you a regular book person? In fact, I got into an incredible debate with Bronwyn Williams on Twitter the other day. We'll put a link down below. And I listed all my reasons and she basically just smiled and told me I was wrong. But she's way more charismatic than I am in that way. And so I thought I had to argue a little bit better to explain this. Also, a lot of people, when I posted the link to my new book, Here Be Dragons, which obviously you can get now, and I posted a link to the Amazon Kindle download on the first day because I want to try to get the numbers up. By the way, #1 sales book. What? A lot of people say to me, yeah, but I don't really like Kindle books. Could you send me the, real copy of the book? And of course we can. But I realized we maybe need to have a chat. We really need to have a chat. Because there is lots of good reasons that I think you should let go of your Legicide, another great book you can get in other formats, and move across to Kindle. So I'm going to share with you today, it's going to be a bit of a long one, I'm going to share with you 10 reasons why you should be on Kindle. The final one I think might surprise you a little bit, but stick around because to me, it's the most important one. So let's start in reverse order. Number 10, selection. There are 9 million titles on a Kindle, right? You can download most of them within a minute. You could be sitting at a beach, beside a pool, on holiday, and someone could turn around and say, I just read this great book today. And you could be like, I really want to read that book, but it's not available. Chances are it is. You can go out and you can grab that straight away. And by the way, I'm not just talking about the selection of books that you would have when you are going to buy from the Kindle store. I'm talking about the selection of books that you have on your Kindle with you. You literally are walking around with a backpack full of books, a busload. This is not a bus, this is a wheelbarrow. That's a busload of books. Literally, there are not enough books on. I can carry more books on here than the strongest person in the world can carry on themselves. I can carry more books on this with ease, right? It's amazing. That brings us to number 9, price. All right, so let's talk about this for a second. And one of Bronwyn's arguments with me is that, but Kindle books are almost as expensive. Almost. Well, not quite. Let's have a look here. Kindle book, $11.99. Right? Hardcover, $22. Right? Go over there. Paperback, $13. Now, you might be turning around and saying, yeah, but that's unreasonable because, there is that physical cost of the book. Sure thing. But actually, that's not what I'm buying. I'm not buying the tiny bit of commodity paper. The real value of the book is all those words that came out of some other human's brain. So that is what I'm paying the premium for. I'm totally happy to pay that. However, let's face it, not only am I getting the book at cheaper, I'm also not driving to the shops, using fuel, doing all those kind of things to get it, or pay to have it shipped from Amazon to my house. So there is a lot of savings when you're getting it via your Kindle. So price, it's a big deal. But speaking of that petrol and things like that, that brings me to number 8, the environment, right? Saving trees. We should save these guys. We shouldn't be cutting them down to make books. In fact, I think there's a great reason why the Kindle logo is a little dude sitting under a tree. I think they're trying to say that we shouldn't be sitting reading on a tree. We should be reading under a tree. Under a tree. That's a great thing. There is definitely an environmental impact. And yes, I know what you're saying, that all of these electronics and tools like that, they're going to landfill and they're big waste. I've had this thing for years. This is a first generation Kindle Oasis, right? There's a way, way, way more waste going into all the books. So this year I've read about 60 books so far. Let's say in the time that I've had this thing, I don't know, like 300 books or whatever, right? I promise you there's less waste going into this. I promise. Now, speaking of sitting under a tree, that brings me to my next point. Number 7. Your book's with you wherever you are. One of Bronwyn's discussions with me, she said, yes, but you can run out of battery. Yes, you can. But you have to run out of battery on your Kindle, on your phone, on your computer. This thing doesn't come. On your computer, right? You have to run out of battery everywhere before you're going to stop reading books on your Kindle because they just work. The Kindle app is fantastic. Now, it's not my preference to be reading books on my phone, although first thing in the morning, I do like to do that, sit there and open and scroll through my morning reading. And I do that on my phone because I want to take lots of notes on my morning reads, and I want to be able to type. There you are, Richard. Well done, son. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But they are everywhere you want to be. That makes it a game-changing tool for reading. Now, we get to point number 6. Point number 6 is this is waterproof. Now, here's the thing. If you like reading and you like bathing, combining those two things, the best thing you can ever do. Being able to read in a bath and splash around and not worry about what's going on. This thing is waterproof. It is incredible, right? I really do believe that this is a huge feature that not enough people are talking about, because the ability to stand there, not worry if it gets wet, be it a poolside, spill stuff on it. Bulletproof these things are, and probably literally bulletproof. I promise you, all those old movies where people got shot through in the Bible, you can put a bullet through this a lot easier than you can put a bullet through that. I'm not willing to test this, but I'm pretty certain. Number 5, accessibility. Right, we're not getting any younger. Yeah, this is the truth. And one of my frustrations, sometimes you buy a book, if you ever bought a book and then you get home and you open it up, it's like this tiny ass little text. Do you know that used to be the reason I wouldn't buy certain authors? Because their books were always printed with type that was too small. So I would just put them down because I didn't want to read them. That literally was why I didn't read some people. Now, every book is always in the font and the typeface and the size that I want to read it at. This is literally a game changer for my parents. For them, they wouldn't be reading books anymore if it wasn't for the fact they were able to get it to the right typeface. Oh, by the way, speaking of accessibility, it's not quite accessibility, but it's assholeability. If I ever gets to nighttime and my wife wants me to turn out the light and I'm still reading a book, well, now it's easy because there we go. Lights out, Kindle on. Boom. You don't have one of those silly ass little lamp things sticking over your hand like, those little guys. But there you go. Makes it easy all around. Just for everyone. All right. This brings me to 4. Ergonomics. Right. The ability to hold things nicely and to be in good shape. This is one of my problems with big books. They're not ergonomically convenient. This thing, the right way to hold it. You know what really, really sucks? Is when you got a brand new book and it's big and it's heavy and you're trying to hold it. And then when you get to the end of it, it's all like this. Because you're knackered by then. You've just read like 10,000 pages. Like this. The only good time to hold a real book is when you're in the middle. And it's like, But even then, it's not great. Right? Talk about ergonomically. You still have to be this guy in order to be able to hold it up there. Well, I'm over here. Back to you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Right? Holding these big books, by the way, this is pretty cool. Signed edition by Raymond E. Feist. I'm going to drop this because it'll break the house. Because book. Right. Look at this thing. Look how thin this is. Look how easy it is to hold. I can just be standing like this. Boom. There. Change the page. Boom. Change the page again. But I digress. Oh, it's so easy. This is just video writes itself. Okay. So where are we now? Yes. I know exactly where we are. We're at 3. Number 3, ladies and gentlemen, is this. Free books and magazines. Kindle Unlimited. There are so much. You pay your subscription, you get your Amazon Prime, which means you get stuff delivered to you. There is a ton of free books. And as you can see here, they're not like bad books. They're really, really great books that you can get on your computer, your Kindle, whatever. You download those free, you finish with them, you get done like up to 10 at a time, and then you return them. Also, you get like, I think 3 magazine subscriptions every month from really good magazines that you can read. Honestly, this is if you like to read a lot, then reading costs you a lot of money. It's amazing being able to have all of this just with you every time. There, now, we're getting to the big numbers, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting to 2. Reason number 2. Try before you buy. The ability to get samples. I cannot tell you how important this is. Do you know how many times they say to you, don't judge a book by the cover. What else are you supposed to judge a book by? I mean, it's literally just the cover. But on Kindle, it's a little bit different. Because in Kindle, what you can do is you can go in there and, you can do more than just reading this thing. Can you imagine trying to say, can I just take this home and read the first 10%? But on a Kindle, that's exactly what you can do. They're giving you this much of the book for free to take home, to decide. And it's nice and light to decide. Imagine going to a bookshop and they just rip this off. And then they say, if you want it, come back later and I'll give you the rest of the book. That's what the Kindle does. and it's incredible, right? So the try before you buy. I download books all the time. If somebody recommends a book, I just go straight in and I send the sample to myself instantly. So I know it's there. Also means I don't forget books. I don't have to keep a list, because the second I like it, if I'm on my phone, I've got my Kindle, I download it to my device, boom, it's there. When I'm thinking, what do I want to read? I start reading one of the other books. It may be that I'm not in the mood for that now. It's okay. I move on to the next one. I start reading a couple of pages. I'm hooked. Purchase. Boom. I'm in. It's so much more convenient. Incidentally, I do love bookstores. I still do go to bookstores, but when I see a book I love, I simply download it. Exclusive books, traditional bookstores, you're missing a trick. Why do you not have a QR code on all your books that says, got a Kindle? Buy it here and get affiliate revenue on every single person? Because let me tell you this, nobody who's reading with a Kindle is going to change their mind and buy your paperback copy. Yet we're still coming window shopping there because yes, it is cool and the coffee's red. So why aren't you making money? Think, slay your own legacy thinking. Anyway, back to that guy. So that's it. The ability to download samples, to try them, amazing. And this leads me now to the number one reason. Number one. Before we get to number one though, just because you probably saw it already. Guys, bonus, dark mode. How cool is dark mode? Dark mode is amazing. I know it's not for everybody, but I love it. You can't change it. You can't turn it off, but I promise you it is incredible. Like I said, when Jazz turns the lights out and wants to have a wee sleep, dark mode. It's for lovers. It's for friendly people. It's for nice people. And finally, number one. The number one reason, it's slightly different, retention with Readwise. Okay, so let me explain to you how this works. As you're getting older and your eyes are getting worse and we're getting older, right? Maybe this should have been under ergonomics. You can choose to read this via age size. Now, for some of you, I promise you, this is the biggest reason that you probably want to buy one of these things here, right? But you can go there. But let's keep this kind of big for now. If you see something smart in this book that you love, obviously, you totally will. Boom. Highlights. That's it. Add a note. That's what I was referring to when I want to take lots of notes. I sometimes do it on my phone as well. Put it in a little keyboard. Bob's your uncle. Away you go. Incredible. But where do those notes go, Richard? Readwise. They go into Readwise. Now, Readwise is a rad bit of software. So here's the problem. I don't know if you've ever heard of a thing called spaced repetition. Basically, human beings, we forget stuff. So we remember something, and then it falls off a cliff. And then what you got to do is relearn it again within a couple of days, and then it'll fall off a cliff again. Then you can go a week, and you got to relearn it again, and it'll fall off a cliff again. Then you can go 2 weeks, learn it again, then you can go a month, and then eventually it just gets dialed in and locked in. If only there was a bit of software that would take the highlights and notes you made in your book and feed it back to you like that so you never forget them. Readwise. That's what Readwise does, and it is incredible. It doesn't just work for Kindle. It works for articles you read on the internet. It works for tweets and social media. So every morning when I wake up, I've said that I want to have 5 highlights sent to me every single day. So I review 5 little highlights that I've read in my book. By the way, this also goes straight into my knowledge base system via Readwise. If I search for leadership, then I will find all the tags that I have selected with leadership. Here's the problem with these books here. Is that the highlights and notations you make in them are where notes go to die. Now, I know there's some of you that do this properly. I know that you are, but I promise you, you know you're the exception. You know that most people highlight and dog-ear things, and they mean to go back to them. I mean to go back to them, but I don't. By the way, if you do want to read these books and you're not convinced, but you still want some of the functionality, Readwise does give you a way where you can scan the book and go through and scan your notes and add it that way. It's a lot more work, though. It would be much, much easier just to pinch, have a Kindle. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is 10 good reasons, 12 good reasons for you to really, really consider getting a Kindle. If you would like, we have put links to the ones below, as well as links to some really cool books. I've actually put some of my favorite Kindle books, asked my team to share some of their favorite books. So you'll see those down below if you're curious. And let us know in the comments, what are your favorite books? And what we'll do is include a link to Amazon so people can download them in the Kindle. Remember, you do not have to buy this device. You just have to download the Kindle app on any one of your smartphone or on your computer, and you're good to go. So even if you want to read regular books, having the Kindle app for samples, you're welcome. You're welcome. We're here for you. And because we're here for you, we hope that you will support us by considering going and getting a copy of Here Be Dragons. It would mean the world to me. It is a fantastic book. I'm super proud of it. I would hope that you would hit like, subscribe, share, and argue the fuck out of this video with me in the comments down below. Fight! If you don't agree with me, fight! Seriously, fight! Cool. That's it from me. Thanks so much. You're just wrong. Okay? You're just wrong. Lead loud. Peace. Just one last thing. For those of you, the one argument I always get from people is, oh, but I just love the smell of books. If you're in books for the smell, you're reading shit books, literally and figuratively. I actually wrote about this in my first book, Legicide, in a section called The Smell of Old Books. Like, we shouldn't be reading books to smell. We should be reading them because of the beautiful words that are inside them. That, my friends, should be medium agnostic.